Ooh, do we love our Patreon supporters, like Adam S., Sarah P., a.k.a. Situational Daddy on Instagram, Leo, Sandy and Paul J., Nathan E., Jacqueline M., Matthew J., and Big Time Jim. Help support our show by going to patreon.com/whatweremember. Thanks. Nope. Andy doesn't know what we're talking about, but we had a request for a film that we're going to be doing today.
I always like requests.
Don't remember what it was, though.
You don't remember what it was?
No, because I lost my sunglasses, and that's all I've been thinking about
You
since
lose your
that
sunglasses
day.
frequently.
I lose them all the time.
You lose them a lot.
I can't buy expensive sunglasses
I'm the
because I
same
just
way.
lose them.
There's a set I would love to buy that are like $80, but I'm like, you know what? Because I'm going to lose those in a week, and I can't justify that. So I'm going to stick to those cheapo $10 ones.
I lost these in 2 weeks.
Get those Folkleys.
There you go.
I lost them in 2 weeks.
You bought them, and then you lost them.
$40.
Down the drain.
Tragedy.
And I specifically remember I was out on a walk. I was wearing them after we went to that restaurant.
Oh, I remember those sunglasses. They were on the table. Mm-hmm. I remember you wearing them out.
I called them. I was like, did I leave my sunglasses there? And they're like, no.
No, I saw you wear them out.
Yeah. And so then that night I went on a walk, and I remember I was wearing them, and it was getting dark, and I was at the Lincoln and John R., and some guy drove by and he gave me a thumbs up. And then I took them off. But then I don't remember what happened after that. And they're gone.
He gave you the thumbs up? How did you take them off? They were clearly
working.
working.
Was that Saturday?
Yeah. I feel like this is a similar story from that time you lost your wallet.
It is kind of a
Where you
similar story.
Like you lost it on like a freeway.
On a
and
freeway
someone
Oh,
found it.
but that was because I was
later.
biking and it was in my coat and it wasn't zipped.
Yeah,
and
that
then
was
I,
on a
I
episode of
moved
the
the coat
podcast,
and
I
it just
think.
fell right out.
Someone found our Facebook page and then mentioned that they had them.
So
That was a
lucky.
great story.
So lucky.
Yeah. If we didn't have this podcast, you would have never gotten your wallet back.
There you go.
That would have been
Paid for itself.
just heartbreaking.
Maybe some good soul out there will find your glasses and this podcast and make another connection.
Someone out there
That would
found
have
a
been a
really
pain
cool
to have
set
to
of
get all of that
sunglasses.
stuff back.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, losing the wallet is like...
Thank God that
That's such a pain in the butt.
She was like, "Oh, I got your wallet."
I have to
Yeah.
make so many phone calls to get the things in my wallet replaced. It's just not something I want to deal with.
No, I would. I would take a vacation for a week just to sort
Yeah.
it out.
I think I lost my credit card like the month it was going to expire, and I was like, "Oh yes, I'm just going to get a new one like in a week or two. Don't even have to worry about like requesting another one. I
Nice.
can just wait it out."
And then you saw a boat being charged on there,
Yeah.
and you're like,
But then I bought the boat, so
"Hey, it all worked out."
it really sunk me.
Hey.
I was financially capsized and literally
Okay,
capsized.
all right, all
Barely
right.
keeping your head
All
above
right.
water on that one, yeah.
I'll get one.
You're not going to get one.
That's just a running joke.
My name is Bradley Jones,
I'm Andrew Moldenhauer.
And I'm Andy Hubert.
and this is not a movie review podcast, but it's a podcast where we try to remember a movie that we haven't seen in a very, very long time. And this is what we remember about Weekend at Bernie's.
Were there 2 or 3 bad guys in Home Alone? And who was that forgetful fish in Finding Nemo? Join us as we're watching films. See what we remember and what memories we kill. Let's start the show. Here we go. This is what we remember.
Oh, man. I can't wait. This is one of Andy's, favorite movies.
Why? Is it? How?
I mean, for the amount you talk about it in passing.
It's good.
It comes
It's
up
good.
a lot.
Another Andy,
it's-
friend of the podcast, requested this film.
It's a classic movie that I'm
It's
just
so
like, why
80s
haven't we
and
done
goodness.
this
That's
yet?
Good. No, it's absolutely a fair question, and I think it's an oversight, and I'm glad we're recognizing
And I
it.
love a
This is
Weekend
so
at Bernie's too. I'm going to be right out there and say it.
I believe that.
I like them both.
They're good. They're both good.
I
They're fun.
don't think that's true, but we're going to find out if the first
We'll
one's
find out
good.
together. That's for sure.
There you go. There will be an answer at some point.
So, the age-old question, Andy Moldenhauer, who is in Weekend at Bernie's?
Andrew McCarthy, Jonathan Silver,
Men.
and Jonathan Silverman.
Bernie is an actor who's in movies, but he is just typecast as Bernie after this film came out, and then before and after he made movies, he was just Bernie.
I cannot even tell you who that guy is because he's wearing a bucket hat and sunglasses
And a
most of the movie, so it's hard to tell.
I feel like there are some other, maybe not big names, but maybe like friendly faces, like a Lou Ferrigno or someone of like the '80s fame that just like shows.
Yeah.
'Cause we're on a beach a lot of the time. I'm thinking there's gonna be babes hanging out, you know.
I'm thinking, all right, if I'm going to throw out some random people...
You don't have to, but I appreciate it if you throw out one.
I'm trying to think of who in the 80s would be in this movie. We got one Brat Pack person. Are there
Scott
other Brat
Baio.
Pack? Oh, Scott Baio.
That was very confident, Brad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Scott Baio's in this, guys.
He's
Andy.
not in it. But it'd be fun if they did like a Laverne and Shirley like in the background cameo just for a second, you know, something like that. But maybe that's a little bit earlier 80s than I'm thinking. What do you know about this film, Andy Hubert?
Barely anything.
Do you know how it begins?
No. Well, I mean, I know the premise, but
What would you say is the premise?
well, isn't it that there's going to be a wedding? Is that a part of this? And they're like getting together ahead of this. Like people are getting together. Is that how
a
this
wedding?
starts?
I thought it was like they had to... Bernie is their boss.
Yes.
Right?
Oh.
Yeah. Bernie is...
And they have to keep pretending like he's alive because of something.
He gets assassinated. He gets killed.
He's assassinated?
Yeah, like, I think he has like criminal debts.
Oh,
Okay.
Because there's a villain in the movie that's constantly after Bernie because he thinks he's killed Bernie, but then he goes down and hangs out where Bernie is, and he keeps seeing Bernie. And there's like moments where he like shoots Bernie again, and like a few scenes later he shows back up. And Bernie's there like, I shot you in the head. How are you still alive?
The man's invincible.
He's just constantly getting shot. Like Bernie's constantly getting killed in this film.
I do know there's one scene where he's just
Henchman
walking
guy.
underwater. Oh,
That's in the second film.
Oh, is the second film with the
Second film.
headphones?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was the first one. I
wait.
had
Oh,
something.
boy.
See, the second one's so good because Bernie is like, he physically walks around and does stuff in the second film.
They
'Cause
basically
he gets
put
a voodoo curse
headphones.
put on him.
Oh, is that what it is?
And a guy's trying to find buried treasure, and the only way Bernie can move is when he's listening to music, and he's constantly going to the buried treasure. So there's a moment where he tries to go underwater and he stops.
Yeah.
And they realize, oh, it's because he can't hear the music anymore. Let's put underwater headphones on Bernie. And he's down there, and he's just getting the treasure, and he's dancing all around. I like Bernie, too.
Who the thought of this movie?
And that's why I want a Bernie's 3. But let's go to the
They're
first
not
one. Let's
gonna
stick to the
make that.
first one.
Oh, God.
So I think maybe he's embezzling something. He owes somebody money.
Okay.
I also think he's just a very mean boss to Andrew
Yeah.
McCarthy and
Yes.
Jonathan Silverman.
Yeah, I remember them not having anything nice to say about him.
And they feel like the company owes them something. And I believe that they find Bernie dead. But they also like find like a bunch of his like passports and a bunch of his like money and his plane tickets and everything. And they have the idea to use Bernie to go on a vacation.
So, because I thought this all took place just on the beach. I thought they already lived on the beach. But you're saying that they go with
they go
Bernie?
Bernie's
Yeah,
vacation.
like they get him on a
Go to like his
plane?
beach house or something, I thought.
And I think the big idea is to get Bernie to sign over his will to them. Oh my god! Because I'm pretty sure it's the first movie where they essentially like horizontally Little Rascals Bernie, where it's like 3 people in a suit, and like one of them like signs the
Right.
paperwork, but it looks like it's Bernie signing it. But it's his left
It's
hand.
just a hand in-
his left
in
hand's
the-
on his
in the-
right hand, and it's
Yeah.
signing it anyway.
Yeah.
And there's a whole scenario like that, but I think they're trying to get his money because they feel like they're owed something from being so devalued in his company.
So is there like an attorney or a lawyer that's involved too,
Yep.
who's
Just
working
for a
on the
quick
will?
second.
Oh,
Just
okay.
Just for like one scene where he signs the money over.
Okay, so is the will an important part of this, or
It's their main reasoning
It's their
for doing
goal.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
it's-
okay? What's getting in the way of them getting that signed and everything?
They have to get Bernie there, and maybe they're like having
So
to
they have to
wait
like
a day
figure
or
out how
two.
to walk with him and
they're,
stuff.
and they're trying to make sure that people think that Bernie's still alive. Like they like hang out with Bernie. Like,
they're like
they take him to the
establishing,
beach.
yeah, they're establishing sort of
establishing
the
he's
alibi
alive
and
because
they're
as soon as he
friends.
signs it over, they're going to be like, "Oh, we found him dead,"
Mm-hmm.
and they're
going to hear
they have
all
to
the
establish the idea that he was not dead.
So this
earlier.
movie completely ignores the fact that there's rigor mortis when people die.
right? There's going to be like,
Well,
going to find a
except
time
for
of
one
death.
scene where there's a sexy beach lady that comes home to the beach house and she bings bong Bernie.
Oh no!
Bings bong her corpse.
No, you can't. No, you can't have this in a movie.
And there's a moment where she's like, "Oh, thanks for the night, Bernie," and she's like walking out, and like Andrew McCarthy and Jonathan Silverman are like looking at
look at
Bernie and
each
looking
other,
at her and being like, "What? What?
They're doing what the audience is doing.
It's
at the
like
same
another
time.
layer to the ruse that they're like, even he's convincing people, and they're not even having to try. They're almost like starting to think like, is he actually alive?
Now, so you're saying there's continuous hits, attempted
Yes.
hits on Bernie afterwards too. So do the two other guys come under fire at any point
They
themselves?
do. Yeah.
I assume they eventually
get shot
targeted.
at. Yes, that's
They have to be
the end of the
found
film.
out by the hitmen at some point, right?
Yeah. Yep. They
Like,
see.
that's
They're
gotta
always
be the
around
ending.
Bernie. The hitman
Yeah.
finally puts 2 and 2 together,
Yeah.
and he like figures out what's going on.
Is there anything like precious to them? Like,
There's a girl.
There's a girl.
There's
Okay.
a girl that Jonathan
Is there
Silverman's
something
really
that
into.
could potentially be at risk here for them?
The girl's relationship with Jonathan Silverman and him finding out.
Okay.
So Andrew McCarthy, it's like angel devil scenario, right? Where Jonathan Silverman's the angel, Andrew McCarthy's the devil. Kind of
okay.
keep on telling him like what to do or do the bad thing. Jonathan Silverman like is hesitant, but ultimately goes along with it because Andrew McCarthy's just that convincing.
I would say like so the love interest isn't like a thing where they get to wherever and then she shows up and they're like, oh, if I keep the ruse up, I get to keep talking to her.
She might know Bernie in some way, but Jonathan Silverman definitely like fawns after her pretty early.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they meet like randomly at the beach or if she comes over like say hi to Bernie or she's a neighbor or something.
Oh, okay.
And
so
then
he
there's, like,
falls
moments-
in love in the movie.
Yeah.
He doesn't already have somebody.
And there's moments where like they're trying to hide that Bernie's not dead around her,
Right.
and like he feels bad, he's lying to her.
Right.
But Andrew McCarthy's like making the ruse go great.
There's got to be a lot of scenes where Bernie just like falls on the ground.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, oh my God, we got to get him up.
There's a moment where Bernie actually like falls off a balcony and like spears into the sand like head first.
Oh no.
There's a moment where like a little kid like buries him in the sand, thinking he's just a
yeah.
live person.
Yeah.
And they like have to dig him up out of the sand.
That's
Yeah.
like a trailer moment.
There's so many hijinks.
Body props
The hijinks.
are just always funny. Like I have a feeling I'm gonna
This
watch
is the
this.
ultimate body prop movie.
And I'm gonna want to watch like Dead Like Me, or is that the one? Or Death
Like
Becomes Her.
Oh,
That's what I'm
sure.
thinking of. I was like, because that's another. It's just a great premise to just do wacky.
I need to
stuff with
rewatch
people.
that. I started watching it when I wasn't really ready to pay attention,
No,
and I
it's-
knew it was good.
it's really good.
I knew it was good as I was watching it.
Oh yeah. We got Robert Zemeckis, Bruce Willis, Goldie Hawn.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew it was good, and I was like, I need to pay attention to this. Let me come back to it.
Great music. Love that film.
Yeah.
But is there body prop stuff in there?
Well, the premise in that one is that one of the women dies, but can't die because of like some mystic object or something, basically. But her
It's a
body's
serum.
Yeah, her body's
Oh,
dead though,
right.
and
Yeah,
so
that.
it's decomposing. And Bruce Willis happens to be like a makeup artist, and so he like uses his skills to make her continue to look alive.
Right.
And it's Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep like fighting over Bruce Willis basically, and
And they both take this.
yeah, they both are.
They both take.
They
this
both are
serum.
dead, and so they keep trying to like take each other out, but they're both already dead. So like it just means they keep destroying their already dead bodies more and more throughout the film. It's really
Yeah.
Oh man,
okay.
it's so
some
funny.
of that sounded very familiar. Yeah.
And in this movie, all they do is get that bucket hat and the glasses, and everything's Bernie's alive.
Yeah, he's got that white shirt with the blue jacket.
Yeah.
And I think he's got white pants, maybe.
You're gonna do a Halloween costume now where you have the arrow through your head,
Ooh.
and then you're bouncing like Bernie, right?
That's a great group costume. You need two other
Different
people to be
Bernies?
behind you all the. No, you had
Oh, you
Bernie
got
and
the
the
whole
two
three
people,
guys.
all three of you
I'll
all
bring in
together
two
the whole time.
mannequins and I'll be Bernie.
That's so good. I love it. Oh man,
I've been thinking about Halloween costumes.
getting ready.
Just hoping there's a Halloween party.
Weekend at Andy's.
Ooh,
Oh, that sounds like a fun night. Weekend.
what a great theme.
Yeah. I think there's a big like boat chase at the end of the film. Bernie might even water ski at some point.
That would be the best.
Or gets like pulled by the boat in some way, or like they're dragging him.
It's got to be on a skateboard.
It's got to be one of those, like the body flies off the boat, but it's attached to a rope and then starts skiing, and they're like, oh. And everything.
I think like Andrew McCarthy might like walk away for a second, and like, a bunch of people come over and like, oh, he wants to go next. And they put Bernie on skis and have him go out there,
And he's like, no! No! And Bernie's out there like waiting. But it's just his hand in the wind.
Flying by another boat's like, hey, Bernie!
Yeah. I mean, this might even happen where he's like parasailing and like a shark bites him. That might happen. I don't know if they have the budget for that in this film. But that would be funny.
That would be good.
Oh, man.
Maybe that's in the sequel. We'll have to watch
Maybe it's a Jaws reference.
They go back to
gosh.
They go back to the beach in the second film.
I'm so curious. I've seen this movie exactly one time.
I feel like I've really just seen this
it
once.
It's been at least 20 some years since I've seen this film, maybe even more.
You knew more than both of us.
I'm still missing a ton.
Does Andrew McCarthy have a love interest?
I want to say yes, but I don't think he gets one until the second film.
Does he have a redemption at all? If he's kind of like the devil?
Yeah, I think he ends up like... I think he might literally take a bullet for Jonathan Silverman at the end of the film.
Oh, that's a good redemption.
So he gets like shot in the arm or something.
Yeah, but it would have been Jonathan
like,
Silverman.
He does care.
Okay, so a little redemption, little protecting your friend.
Yeah,
yeah.
But they're not like dumb dude. Where's my car? Like dudes. They're just
no. I didn't think so.
They're just fun like beachgoers, like trying to swindle their boss out of a bunch of money.
Yeah, they were taking advantage of something. Is what I always felt.
So is the ending that the hitman's arrested? I assume.
I would think so.
And
did they get in trouble?
I was gonna say, do they actually end up with the money?
I don't know.
They throw Bernie in the freezer for the sequel.
I forget where Bernie comes back in the sequel. He's got to be somewhere out in the world where he gets like brought back into play.
I feel like they're driving in a Jeep all the time because a Jeep is so open and you can have all the characters sitting in there, even Bernie.
Bernie might even fall out of the Jeep. That might even happen. Or his like hat keeps flying off, or they keep trying to like hold his hat on or something.
Yeah, sunglasses falling off.
I have to imagine there's a scene where they're trying to feed him food. I think McCarthy like, tries to give him soup.
Yeah, I was thinking there's got to be a scene where they dress him up for the first time too. It's like, what's his outfit to go out in?
It's not possible, but I would have loved to have like the Dumb and Dumber tuxedos where it's like all three of them dressed up to the nines.
That to go to a special occasion, and they're like, "This is all he has here."
But Bernie's like a well-known guy in the neighborhood. Like everyone knows who Bernie is. Every time Bernie's out, people are saying hi to him, and he never talks during the whole film because he's dead.
Oh,
unless people don't pick that up.
Ooh, they might do a tape recorder switcheroo, or Andrew McCarthy or
somebody. Onesie twosie.
Yeah, they might give him a little Home Alone style talk boy action.
Okay.
During the signing of the will thing, that might happen.
Interesting.
There's no scenes where like people are calling him to speak to Bernie, and they're like, "Oh, he's not."
I think that happens too.
Okay, all right.
He's like constantly taking messages for Bernie.
I think we're piecing this together little by little.
Yeah, Andrew McCarthy's like Bernie's personal assistant. He's like making sure everything goes great for Bernie, that everything's on track, and Jonathan Silverman is just sort of along for the ride. But like he's just seduced by the money and seduced by the women and seduced by Andrew McCarthy is just so convincing. He's just going along with it.
That's what happens, man. Some of your friends can just bring you down.
Did you look at Andy Hubert? Or are you looking? No, you're looking at one eye's looking at me. And one eye's looking at you.
It's my lazy eye. It's just lazy.
He's just talking about the other time when our boss died and he wanted to do a Weekend at Bernie's with it, and I was like, no, and now he's upset about it still because he didn't sign the will.
We could add all that money.
I'm sorry. It's one of my big regrets. I'm sorry. I should have gone along with it. It would have worked.
There's a really funny bit in How I Met Your Mother where they do a Weekend at Barney's where Barney wants to be like Bernie and he pretends to be dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a good reference in Regular Show where Benson passes out and they have to... He has an eating contest, spicy food eating contest they enter him in as he's unconscious. So he can eat any spicy food because he's not conscious for it.
That's fun.
It's a good one.
I think the Bernie like pop culture boom, like everyone knows what Weekend at Bernie's is for some reason. Like
I feel like this wasn't like a huge,
it's just like
major hit film or something, but it's just it's
got such a standout
it's so
title.
culturally relevant
and a premise.
It's got a strong presence.
You understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Without even like knowing the plot of the film, you're along for the ride. Just the idea of it. Oh yeah, I can see that being a movie.
Yeah.
Or like I can't believe they would make a movie like that. It's got to be stupid, and then people watch it and they laugh.
Yeah.
There's no other movie like this, too. Is there another movie where, like, a character's dead and, like, people have to pretend he's alive? Like, is this just an original idea?
Maybe. Maybe that's why everyone's so impressed.
Yeah. There was always a great idea growing on Twitter for the Purge series. Because the purge happens like one day out of the year or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And the premise is like someone dies like the week before the purge date, but they have to pretend that person's alive up until the purge where they can actually get away with
So
it.
like, now I've killed them. Yeah.
And it's Bernie.
Yeah, it's Bernie, of course.
Weekend at Bernie, Purge.
Yeah.
Weekend at Purge.
Or
The
Purge, Weekend at
Bernies.
Bernie.
Yeah, I'd
like-
watch it. Look, I mean, those films are getting all crazy anyway. That's totally in the realm of that universe.
Yeah,
Let's do
isn't
it.
the next one coming out is like Purge All Day or whatever?
I
Yeah,
don't
that one
know.
just came out. It's like
And they keep like going like backwards and forwards in the timeline of the purge. I don't understand what's happening.
Purge Anarchy, where they're like, "What if it was just the Purge all the time?" And I'm like, "That's okay." So Mad Max,
Yeah,
I guess.
that's just not a movie.
You've just made
That
it.
just sounds like the apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm more interested in the first film. That was an interesting idea.
I've never seen it.
With Ethan Hawke.
It's a
right?
good film. It
is?
was surprisingly good. Yeah, very tense.
Yeah, I do need to watch that one.
You've never seen it?
I saw it once. I saw it actually, and I don't know if I finished it, which I feel sad saying because it is Ethan Hawke, and I do like him a lot.
It's kind of a Panic Room in that like same sort of like tension, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Panic Room's good.
Yeah,
I like that one.
yeah. Dwight Yoakam.
He's... Oh, yeah, he is in that.
Yeah.
He was trying to do like a transition from country music into acting, it seems.
And
He's in Sling Blade as well.
He's trying to pull out Chris Christopherson.
Is that what he did?
He was music first. Yeah, he was a country artist.
But he was in
Interesting.
movies too?
Yeah, he was in Blade and a few other films.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I guess at some point the people do have that interest in like... Because, you know, music and movies
You got
and
to
stuff.
diversify your
Justin
portfolio.
Timberlake
They kinda
tried
go
to
hand
do
in hand
it.
sometimes.
Cisco tried to do it. You know, the list goes on.
Ja Rule.
Ja Rule
There
did
you
it
go.
pretty well.
Ludacris.
Ludacris is probably the best one to have ever done it. The
I don't know if the best one.
musician to TV or an actor. You don't think so? Definitely
Not
the most
the
lucrative because he's in those
best
Fast and the
one.
Furious films.
I'm trying to think. We got Ice-T. I mean, he was in
A
like...
lot of Law and Order.
He was in
Yeah,
so much
that's
Law
fair.
and Order.
Law and Order for
he had
forever.
a long career with that. Ice Cube even.
Ice Cube's a little.
He kind of did both, I guess. But he had some good stuff because
He
he
did
wrote Friday.
some mainstream films. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a popular
He was
one.
trying
And
to
then
solo
like
in some stuff, but
whatever the other ones.
I mean, look, what 50 Cent tried it. Wait, did Hustle and Flow? Was that it, or is that's the Terrence Howard one? But that's about 50 Cent, I think.
Yeah, I don't think
Blood
50 Cent's in
something?
that.
Something Blood. I don't know what the 50 Cent film is. Aaliyah. No.
We can name a bunch. I just don't know who who's
Beyonce
the big
was in Austin Powers.
right. Yeah, she was the first. Yeah, I don't know who the biggest.
I guess the difference between biggest and like best too. You know,
Yeah, hard to say.
we're not here to talk about films.
No.
No,
So-
we're
We're
not
talking about
film guys,
music.
okay? We're not film people. Yeah.
Before we leave Weekend at Bernie's, is there anything you want to talk about or bring up or mention?
I'm just so
about
excited
film?
that we're finally doing this one. I can't wait to watch it.
This is gonna be good. I'm
like,
looking
really,
forward. This is a movie
really looking
I
forward
should
to
have
it.
revisited sooner, but now I'm
Yeah.
glad I didn't because I get to do it
Yeah.
fresh with you guys.
Like honestly, I don't know if I've seen this more than once, maybe twice, and I don't know if I sat down and just watched it.
I feel like I wasn't allowed to watch because I think it is an R-rated film. There's definitely boobs in it.
Oh, all right.
Where Bernie accidentally pulls off a lady's top,
Bernie.
It's the 80s, of course.
What
they're
a
gonna show
horn
boobs.
dog.
and then like someone else gets slapped for it, like Andrew McCarthy or Jonathan Silverman. Like Bernie, like is getting dragged on the beach and he pulls off a lady's top, and then Jonathan Silverman's there, like, Bernie, where'd you get this? And the lady comes over and sees him with the bikini and slaps him. That's gotta happen.
That's a good scene. If that happens, I will love that.
Good. Oh,
Well,
let's go do it.
Well, we'll see what we got right and what we got wrong in part 2 of Weekend at Bernie's. Not part 2, but Weekend at Bernie's part 1.
Well, what gives? She's been up there, what? 10, 15 minutes?
I don't get it.
Wookie cookie, ya ya ya. Zita da 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 da. Wow wow. Sa sa sa. Wookie cookie cookie, ya ya ya.
Got a little scotch?
Sure. Did everything go okay up there?
Never been better.
Oh, good. How do you like that? Guy gets laid more dead than I do alive.
Welcome back to the How Do You Like That? The guy gets laid more times than I do a live podcast. We watched Weekend at Bernie's.
Andy, I think Brad died, and now we have to pretend he's here because this podcast is the only way we can live.
Now it's become very visual. So if you're listening to this, you are missing out.
Is this anyway like a game too?
Yeah,
that's really fun.
Yeah. Nobody ever does that game right.
Yeah.
Oh man!
So Weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie's.
I'm impressed that they managed to make a whole 90-minute movie out of like one bit,
one joke,
and honestly, they keep it alive. Okay, no pun intended, but they keep it alive. Like it genuinely felt fresh the whole movie.
He meant puns.
He meant that.
Yeah, this guy.
I liked it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I thought like
there was a lot. I was laughing out loud for.
I was sitting there at the beginning, like, how are they gonna do a whole like the joke's over already? He's dead, and they did the party, and they did. It's really funny.
Just how like everybody shows up to the party that didn't even exist in the first place. It just became a party.
Yeah. You need that too to be
it's
like.
It's so funny because then you see how much everybody uses Bernie too.
Yeah.
When he's around, they're going right into his fridge and getting drinks and making themselves drinks, and then they're asking for money for their projects and loans, and it just
a random bikini babe first thing borrows his boat.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah. She just shows up and grabs his keys.
Yeah, it's just like a normal thing. Bernie's got the house open. Anyone can come in and out.
It's just like the guy that he is in the beginning, and
Bernie
he seems
Lomax.
on edge, and then when he's at this beach house, I gotta get closer. When he's at this beach house, everybody loves him, so it's like we didn't get to see that side of him at all. Except now that he's dead,
we see him as like sort of the intimidating boss guy to start with.
Yes.
We need to talk about also the roof because. The tar scene
bothered
on the
roof?
Yeah, that bothered me so much.
I remember the beach part. Yeah,
they're just covered in tar by the time they get off that roof, and it's so gross.
Yeah, so they're looking through reports on what Larry and
they work for an insurance company.
Richard, they work for an insurance company, and Richard and Larry are just like stuck working Saturdays. So Larry's like, well, I guess I need a break. I gotta go to the beach. And as you, an audience member, is like, they're going to the beach? And then it cuts to them upstairs on the roof of the building, fully, like, the tar is just melting on everything.
It's so hot because it's a heat wave in the city, which also, we need to talk about those dudes in the suit shorts. But it's so hot that the tar on the roof is melted. So, like, they get up to go to the pool, and his shoes stick to the roof. And then the tar gets all over his hands.
All over the papers, too. And it stays on the papers.
Oh, my God. It made me so upset.
It looks hot. I don't want to touch tar. It seems warm.
Yeah.
No. I mean, if it's that hot and it's melting, that's not good.
But they're up there having drinks, having a good time.
Well, they find they find out that there's like some fraudulent stuff happening in the business.
Yeah, they're like
they really land upon
they get excited.
villains.
They think they've saved the company millions because there was multiple checks written for a single policy, and they do life insurance. So they're like, he couldn't have died 4 times.
Yeah,
and so they get real excited. They show up the next day to work, passing the dudes in the suit shorts because it's the 80s, baby. And
would you wear that?
I would absolutely wear those
would look nice,
if I was allowed to.
I bet you could it's just Andy being Andy. You could pull it off. It's just Andy. You can do that.
The only other person that pulls it off is that guitarist from AC/DC, right?
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
You don't see that look otherwise.
But they go to their boss and they're like, wow, they finally corner him in his office and they're like, check this out. We look at this. We've saved the company.
And it's almost like a stage play, this scene, where the camera's like moving in and out of places. Like cuts are very particular. Yep. Actors are on the background and foreground, like switching positions.
Yeah, Bernie keeps moving all over the office and they just sort of keep following him to places. It's a lot of fun.
You always know who has the power in the scene.
Yes.
And it's like swings back to them and swings back to Bernie and swings back to them again. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Bernie says oh, you looked at it wrong. These numbers, no. He's trying to pass it off
he's
you guys are the screw ups.
You're idiots. This
and
this
Jonathan
kind of policy
Silverman,
does this.
Richard's no. I looked over this so many times, and if you check these three figures, you'll find out that I'm right. I know what you're saying, but look at what I'm saying. And then Bernie does, and
he's like, oh wow, thanks guys. As a thank you, come to my beach house for the weekend.
Yep. Bernie tried to give them an out to just get out of there, but Bernie's stealing a bunch of money. Is he laundering? What's happening? Is he frauding the company?
He's laundering
embezzling money from the company.
$2 million in 1989. Is that a lot of money?
I mean,
that's a lot of money.
Pretty nice beach house. I mean, I'd assume that he's done this many times for years.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, I mean,
insurance fraud, eh?
Yep. But yeah, right away,
who knew it was happening inside the house?
Right away, in the next scene, Bernie's having lunch with
Vito
mobsters
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they're having a Godfather type.
Yeah, they're having spaghetti in an Italian restaurant. And Bernie's just basically just
spider.
Hey,
don't touch my spider.
Vito.
And Vito's wife.
Yeah.
Gives Bernie a foot job.
Playing footsies under that table.
Yeah, she's footing him up. The old foot job.
Little kid me didn't know what was happening. I was like, why is that lady kicking that guy in the balls?
I mean, it looked like that. It looked like it could have potentially been painful if she shoved in the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
But Bernie and that lady are doing the bing bong.
Yep, him and Vito's wife.
And she's ultimately the lady that bings bong while he's dead. That I was saying.
Yeah. Yes, she is.
Yep. And they get caught kind of. Bernie and this girl because she leaves the restaurant early.
Yeah, they know what's going on.
They already knew. Yeah, the Don already sort of knows that this is happening, and so this is
just
where
confirmation.
Yeah, Bernie leaves, and the Don is he basically asked the Don to kill the two dudes, and the Don's like, yeah, sure, of course. And then Bernie leaves, and then the Don turns to his guys. He's like, let's just kill him instead.
Yeah,
that's easier.
I think he says he screwed up too many times.
Yep, he's getting too reckless.
It doesn't seem like Vito is involved specifically with the money frauding. He just happens to also work with Bernie as an associate, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Because
you're right. He doesn't really play much more of a role. It seems like the scheme is just Bernie, but at the same time,
and ultimately the hitman is the villain in the film because that guy, the mob boss,
he's reinforcing the mob boss.
He's not even in 2.
No,
doesn't come up again.
Come back in 2. No,
he's not even a threatening villain, really.
No,
I mean he does.
He's the villain to Bernie in a way, but
Bernie's got to get killed somehow, I guess. You know?
Yeah.
And how does Bernie die?
So it's just real simple. He's just go grab this, or can you go grab this thing? And he bends over, and then the guy sticks him with some needle.
The hitman shows up at the island, and Bernie thinks he's there to kill the two guys who are coming to stay for the weekend at the house. But no, he's there to kill Bernie. And so when Bernie turns around, just a quick zoop, heroin in your butt.
Yeah, was that what it was? Heroin overdose?
It wasn't the crank juice. He didn't get the,
crank juice.
The China cocktail or whatever.
Yeah, the Chinese shit.
That would have been a whole other excellent movie.
Yeah, I was so expecting Bernie to come back from the dead at the end of the film. I think if it were made today, that would have to happen.
Yeah,
but Bernie is dead. He's a corpse the whole film.
He's straight up dead.
But because he dies with that overdose, and so his face looks like he's having a good time when he dies. And that is the reason
sunglasses on that.
Yeah, there's some sunglasses on him. He just looks like he's enjoying himself.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I got excited when Bernie was arriving at the beach. He's in the boat and he's driving it and everything, and he's walking out of the boat, and I'm like, oh, he's wearing the outfit right there. The blue jacket and the white pants.
Levy gets into his golf cart that looks like a Porsche.
Yes, it does.
We're gonna talk about Bernie's house. Are we gonna talk about
Oh my
it?
gosh.
It's a big house.
That
It's got a
house-
Liechtenstein.
That house looks like
Do you actually see it? Did they do it?
Yeah, they showed.
They do a cut of it.
yeah,
Okay.
they showed
his
it.
house from the at least from the
Liechtensteins are those like
outside.
comic book ones with like the yellow-haired girl and polka dots face. You know what I'm talking about? They're like 60s
I think
pop
so.
art.
Yeah, it made me think of if Beetlejuice took place on the East Coast.
They want to do
on a
Beetlejuice
beach.
Goes Hawaiian.
That's what
for
that
so
house looked
long.
like.
They
It looked
wanted
like
to do that.
Beetlejuice's beach house.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
Where would you rank it in terms of wanting it versus the 3 Men and a Baby loft house? Would you rather have the Bernie house?
That's a tough question.
The Bernie beach house. He's
Well,
on
the
the
loft
beach.
house is in the city.
That loft house is awesome, and it is in the city.
Bernie
but
house is on the beach.
It's on the beach, and it's got a pool.
Oh,
right
can I have
there.
both?
I'm just wondering,
please?
have we topped the 3 Men and a Baby loft in terms of homes
Maybe.
on the podcast?
Well, Bernie's house didn't have a comic book type wallpaper as you walked in.
The babe's going in and out of that house though.
That's true. They come with it.
And
All right, Bernie's house.
That's
Bernie's
true,
house.
yeah.
but there's a lot of cocaine at the 3 Men and
right.
a Baby house.
Yeah.
Ooh, well, there was cocaine too at the
Yeah,
Bernie
heroin
house.
is
So
true.
don't-
But also, at
Don't-
Bernie's
Backing.
house, you have people
That's
showing
an
up every
oversight.
Saturday.
Yeah,
every
that might-
Friday
that
night.
might be
people are
bothersome.
showing up, and that would annoy me. I'd be like, please leave.
You are not a people person.
No. Like, this is my house, thank you. I killed Bernie for it.
But you don't get to see a ton of the house. You never really
They
get to
even
go
have
upstairs.
somebody-
Yeah, you really don't see
You
much
just- you
until
see
the
the
very end of the
staircase.
film when they have
Yeah.
the chase through the house, and that's when you sort of get the layout. Otherwise, it's just the living room with the
there's
staircase.
some wide shots of the living room and then just the way out
and
to
you
the
get to
beach.
see Bernie's bedroom from the
And
outside.
He does have a pool, which is very nice to have. I know it's like, how much do you need after having a beach house? But a beach house with a pool?
Yep.
Wow.
It'd be awesome if
Wow.
he also had his own ocean.
Yeah, right?
Just like right next
Yeah,
to
just
it.
the
Throw
pool
right up there.
goes into the ocean.
There you go. Now we're talking.
That's how it gets the water.
Sharks will swim into your pool. Ah!
Hey,
out of my
out of
pool.
Jellyfish in
here.
your pool.
It's my pool. You
Oh.
get your own pool.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fun.
I just thought of this. It was kind of interesting that they never once had the moment or idea that one of them would just dress up like Bernie and just go around
Pretend to be
walking,
Bernie.
yeah, pretending to be Bernie. It didn't happen because Bernie just was a good job pretending to be himself
I
alive.
guess.
He's alive.
It seems like from given what we know of everyone that lives on this island that it would have worked either way. They were all
Yeah.
ready to believe that Bernie was just having a great time at the party.
Is that saying something, or are they just like
They're so wrapped up in their own lives.
That's what it seemed like.
they're
all,
so
like,
wrapped up in the
They all
party
said
that they
officially
don't
like
know if he's
Bernie
dead?
that much. Yeah.
The one girl in the movie who is Jonathan Silverman's love interest does sort of like have an idea that maybe something's up.
Yeah. Well,
She doesn't know that he's dead per se.
It's like kind
yeah.
of the Boy Who Cried Wolf thing, because
This
like
is-
Jonathan
yeah.
Silverman's
Oh.
like,
Kept saying,
my
"This was
aunt's
really
dead,
funny."
my dad and mom died in a train accident where a plane
we should
landed on
talk.
a
We should
train.
talk about that because yeah, originally
You're killing all my spiders.
you keep bringing the spiders with
There's
you.
another one.
Oh god, I might be missing it. Is there a whole nest in there?
There's one.
What in
There, it's
the
like a bunch of
I guess the
spiders.
spiders laid eggs in our microphone.
There's one right here. Oh
Is
god.
this something we have to remedy?
Oh god. No. I think you literally killed all the spiders.
He goes on a date with her in the very beginning of the movie.
Yes.
And
Yeah, but
he
he's
lives
like
with his
trying to
parents.
pretend that he doesn't live with his parents.
Yes.
And that his parents are dead.
So
and,
yeah, he tells
and saying that
because she's like, "How do you have such a nice place with
Yeah.
retro furniture from the '60s?" Which I'm into because it's 1989.
And it's not that big of a place, but I guess for the city,
In
it's-
New York,
means
yeah.
something, yeah.
And she admires the teak cabinetry.
Yeah. She's like, this is so 60s. It's chic.
Then a dude in his underwear comes out.
Yep.
And that's the director of the movie.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, cameo.
That's funny.
He was not bad, actually.
I assume it's his dad.
It's fine.
Because then she's like, "Oh my God, there's a guy." He's like, "Oh, that's my
butler.
brother." Because yeah, you're right. He tells her his parents died, and that's kind of how he affords it. Is that he got money from them, and yeah, the
keeps lying to this
train
lady.
crash. And then she's like, "Wow, I always thought trains were so much safer than planes." And for
Well,
some
a
reason, that
plane
spins
crashed
into,
on a
"Oh
train."
yeah, actually, the train crashed because a plane fell on it." Which
It's the
is
one thing
great.
he
It's
has
a great
to-
line.
He has to overcome is telling the truth.
He's just one. Yeah. The lies have to.
He's not a good liar. They just keep building up.
He's so bad at lying. There's so many scenes where he's just like, no!
Yeah.
And he's got nothing to back it up.
Right?
He didn't think through.
There's something you said about how great the straight man, funny man dynamic is.
They do such
Andrew
a good job
McCarthy
of
does
that.
a really good job
Yes.
actually playing the funny guy.
Yeah, their dynamic in the beginning is so good.
Yep.
And you obviously like right from the get go, you know who's who, like between like who's walking down the streets and the way that they are. They get mugged on the way to the job.
That's
and
right.
Andrew McCarthy's character's like, it's too early.
He pushes the gun away. He's like, it's too hot for that, man. And the guy just shrugs and walks away.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I kind of look like Andrew McCarthy a little bit.
I was saying that.
Another
I was
Andrew.
saying that a lot.
Yeah.
When I was watching the film.
Yeah, when I was
True.
watching
It's
it,
not
I was
wrong.
like,
You're not wrong.
Some of this, I kind of liked his look too, with like the purple,
purple
Converse.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
he always has high socks, but they're crumpled at his ankles, so they look like scrunchies.
And
It's
he's
a good
also
style.
wearing a lot of
tie.
Hawaiian shirts, but
Yeah.
with long sleeve thermal shirts that are
rolled up.
rolled all the way up.
Yes.
Is that some look that we
The
could bring back?
rolled up like coats is like a very 80s. I feel like.
What about the Hawaiian shirt with the rolled up?
I think that's just
Undershirt.
like you want to do a Halloween costume when you're in a movie, and I think that's just what he came up with.
I mean, there's a lot of great
good one.
outfits.
it's a little Back to the Future-y.
Like when the hitman first arrives on the
It could
island,
just
and
be
he's
80s man.
full Miami
Yeah.
Vice. He's got a white suit, but he's wearing like a pink tank top underneath instead of like a shirt or something. And I'm
Yep.
like, nice.
His clothes are always like really loose too. To Jonathan Silverman's are like he's all tight and
Yes.
buttoned up. You know,
It's a good reflection of
yeah.
the characters. Oh man,
I was just like, I kind of look like this guy. Mm-hmm. He's got my name. It's meant to be.
This movie is just like how many scenarios can we come up with that it'd be funny if there was a dead guy like in the background or like falling over or just doing physical comedy.
yeah,
Yeah.
They do a good job
they did-
having fun with it at the party, especially like
Yeah.
when Bernie's on the couch and like the one guy comes and sits next to him to like ask him like about investing in something, and he's like, "What do you say to like 40,000, Bernie?" And then someone rests on the back of the couch and it rolls his head the other way. And he's like, "Oh, I'll get you someday, Bernie." Like he thinks he's saying no. Like a lot of good bits like that where they're just having fun with the
Yeah,
like
those shots
the
were
body
great.
reactions, and they're not like the two guys aren't even the ones controlling him at that point.
And whenever the main characters think they know where Bernie is, he's gone.
always somewhere else.
Or like appears like suddenly
body just
somewhere
keeps
else.
moving.
Yeah. He's always like washing up on the shore.
The tide was a
They're
great
trying to
one.
make out.
Yeah. So the intern that he has to date with, who left after she found out he was lying about his parents,
The one girl in the film.
she comes to the beach house too for the weekend.
No, she lives there with her parents.
Oh, you're right.
But she was also visiting because Bernie was having this big party.
And yeah, like she forgives the one guy pretty quick because they go to the lighthouse and they have some fun. It's
Yeah.
fairly romantic, and so they start making on the beach, and she's about ready to just get naked. And then Bernie washes up next to them.
He's
and
like washing up hard too. he like
he just stared
zoomed
right
in
at
and
him.
zoomed
It's
out.
so funny because they'd left him on the beach earlier. And he just, again, that was a great reaction from the straight guy of doing like, going, "No, this can't be happening." And she's like, "I think it is." Like, she has no idea. And he's just trying to play off why, like, they shouldn't be having sex next to a corpse, basically.
And Jonathan Silverman goes home to get Larry to get Bernie.
Yeah.
He's upstairs, presumably,
With a woman.
maybe. You never see a woman.
That's true. But he's, like, opens that door and you don't see clothes on him.
This is true. But
But you're right.
Deleted scene.
in the sequel, there's a gimmick at the end of the movie where they need a virgin's blood, and guess whose blood they get? They get Andrew McCarthy's blood. So if he wasn't bing bonging up
Well,
there,
no, hold on. He could have been about to, and
could've
then
been
he got
about to.
interrupted because they had to go get Bernie's body off the beach. That's why he's like, "Give me 30 seconds." Like, he literally asked him for like 30 seconds.
or my theory, he was just self-pleasuring himself.
yeah,
There you go. Yeah,
it could have been
and that works too. That works too.
He was just up. He was
it
at the
could've been
rush
that.
of like whatever the Bernie, whatever the mayhem. He's so into himself,
Yeah.
that it's like I'm gonna have this time for me.
Yeah, I didn't really know what he was into actually.
Yeah, 'cause he
He's
didn't
kind of
seem
a
like-
unique character.
He seemed to be like wanting to look at women and things, but you
Yeah, but
know.
he never
His
like got-
interest
he
lay
never
more
pursued
in
anyone.
the lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's more about what he like. The women
wants-
was just
he
a
wants to-
part of that lifestyle,
wants
which
the
is what he
persona
wanted.
of
Yeah, he
Bernie.
wants the house. Like when they come in and they think that they are just got to the house before Bernie did or something, and like he just dives straight into the champagne in the fridge and
Makes himself at home.
Yeah, he's like, don't just open his champagne. He's like,
Steals
"We're
Bernie's
guests.
watch.
She should want this." Yeah, steals the watch off of the corpse.
Oh yeah, he
And-
takes a Rolex.
I mean, that's just the way it's the way he was.
Yeah, he's trying to blend. He's blended in because he's even playing like what was it, checkers or chess?
He's
with
playing
Bernie.
Monopoly. Yeah, with
Monopoly
Bernie.
was it?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so this kind of bothered me. Where this movie is Weekend at Bernie's, and they're there for like a day.
They're day and a half.
It's like Friday night to Saturday morning.
before
is
Saturday.
like the movie.
Before Saturday's over.
Yeah.
things are resolved.
That's not a weekend.
No.
That's the start of the weekend.
Well, you need one day to pray.
oh, that's true.
It's a God's
That's fair.
day.
Okay, yeah, that's God's day. You're right. So they get through the first night. The party. The party is when they realize that they could, pull this off for now because they realize he's dead right before everyone shows up, and they're freaking out.
And Larry's keeps telling Richard like they're good. Call him in the morning. Call the police.
We'll call the police in the morning.
We'll settle everything out.
Now, let's just let the party go for
They
now.
keep battling
Have a
over
9 to
who's
5.
going to call the police.
Yeah.
But there's always just like a roadblock that's like stopping anyone from doing something. Somebody like coming into the house.
That's
or
right, because
interrupting.
the
or
girlfriend,
like a lady coming over.
Bernie's girlfriend, the mob guy's wife, shows up after the party.
Bings bong Bernie all night.
And she's like mad because she thinks he's cheating on her or something. And she shows up drunk and grabs a knife and like is like, I'm going to go get him. And they're like, oh, this will be great. She'll go up there with the knife. She'll find him dead. It looks like she did it, not us or something. They're just waiting for her to come down screaming that he's dead. And instead, she's up there for 30 minutes having sex with the dead guy.
And then one of the mob guys like sees this happening.
Yeah,
and,
he's
like,
outside the house with
your
binoculars.
hitman failed. Like,
and he's
I just saw Bernie bing bong in your lady.
Yeah, they were having sex for a while. He's definitely not dead.
So they have to call that one guy back.
The hitman's got to go do the work again.
Come back in.
And he strangles Bernie on the beach.
Because
But then that doesn't work.
This
he
is
like
where
falls off the dock. I think.
No,
it
this is
and he
this
falls
is where
onto the
Larry's
villain.
gonna tell Gina that Bernie's dead. He's like coming clean, and this is where she doesn't believe him because she's like, "Oh yeah, you already pulled this person's dead on me once with your parents. I don't believe you when you say Bernie's dead." And he goes to show him, but like the other guy's like wheels him over in the chair and throws him off the deck.
Onto the hitman.
And so the
They have a
hitman's like,
tussle.
"Oh God, he's fighting me!" And things to the
and then he strangles him, checks his pulse, and he's like, "Okay, he's
Got
dead."
But he's not dead.
I mean, he's dead, but
that guy tries to leave the island.
Yeah.
And Andrew McCarthy and Jonathan Silverman's plan is to also leave the island with Bernie.
Yeah,
because I think hitman see them in the car driving with Bernie.
Yeah, but this was after the deck scene. I think is when they find the note and the message on the answering machine of Bernie talking to the hitman, saying basically like, "Hey, you're here to kill them, right?" And like confessing to what the thing is.
They figure out that
they find out
was
Bernie
trying
wanted to kill them, and they're like, "Oh God!" But
they're wondering why.
But the message he says, just make sure I'm in New York when you do it, so that I have an alibi. So like, well, if Bernie's here, they won't kill us because he doesn't have the alibi. So that's why they keep dragging him around with them. That's why they want to leave with him, so that the hitman won't kill him.
He says that Larry's doing it to get a sex change operation.
Right.
Yeah. Trying to blackmail him.
Right.
This is the note. Listen, Richard Parker and I stole this money from the company to pay for my sex change operation.
What?
That's what it says.
Now he tells me he loves someone else. I can't live with that, and neither will he. It's got my name on it. Oh, God. Son of a bitch. I mean, it's not bad enough he's trying to kill me. Now he's turning me into a drag queen. Why couldn't he say you were gonna have a sex change operation?
But it doesn't matter.
No, it does matter, Richard. It does matter. I have a reputation to protect here.
For Christ's sakes, Larry! No one is going to have a sex change operation. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Larry's very upset about
Yeah, he's
that.
like, why
he's
me?
real
Why not
mad
you?
about
What's that part about me in there? Bernie. I realize Bernie's a bad man.
And then they figure out the system with the shoelaces.
Mm-hmm. They try to get onto the boat, and the hitman's trying to get off the boat.
The hitman sees them pull up to the ferry because they're trying to get on, and that's when
really
he starts freaking out because he's like, he's not dead again. Oh my gosh!
And then they steal Bernie's boat
and hit every other boat in the marina.
Yeah, there's so many comedy of
this was
happening.
this was funny
Nobody
but
knows how to
frustrating.
drive a boat.
I don't understand how you could be so bad at driving
illegal.
a boat. Yeah, that was really good. What you're doing is illegal.
What you're doing is illegal.
Rich people.
They're in like such a rush for no reason.
Yeah.
I don't know where they were going.
They wanted to go there fast wherever they were going.
There's so many, like the shot where they ram into the big boat and the couple tells them they're illegal. Like, it felt like one of the longest scenes of like, what? And there's the boat coming at him, and he's like, ah! And I was like, just turn though. And then
It's like you get out of one thing's direction and you're right into another.
Yeah.
So many giant boats just appear from nowhere.
Classic, almost running over 2 fisher dudes in a boat, and then the boat runs out of gas. They don't make it back.
Yeah. Before that, they hit all the buoys.
Oh, that was funny.
That was
I
very
laughed
funny.
real hard at
Yeah,
that.
oh yeah, he was like, "What am I supposed to do?
So
Which
this
side
is-
am I supposed to be on?" He's like, "Well, just be close to it."
And this is, we sort of had guessed at this in part 1, where we thought maybe Bernie water skied or something.
Yeah.
It's the body falls out of the boat, but it's tied to the boat. And
Yeah,
so
you
he's
don't
just flying
realize
like,
it.
people are driving by like, look at that Bernie. He's such an animal, because he's just like
He goes over jumps
flying
and
in the
stuff,
water. Yeah, he goes off a ramp, and then they slalom these buoys, and the body hits everyone and like makes a hilarious
He's like, "What's that
clang sound every time.
Bong.
I love
That
it.
part
That
made me
was
laugh
so
really
funny.
hard. What's that noise?
There it is again.
Oh, man overboard.
Oh man! And then they use him as a raft.
They were just trying to what?
Because they just
Go
swim
back?
They swim
They're
back
trying
to
to go back
shore
to
and
New
like
York.
come up on the beach,
New
and so the
York?
crew girl's like, "Hey, Bernie!" Like everyone knows him, and it's so funny.
What state are they in when they get to the beach?
Desperation.
Oh, damn.
That's
That's a pretty bad state to be in.
What is it? St. John's or what? What's the island? The Hamptons.
Hamptons. They're in the Hamptons.
Hamptons.
Oh, is that
That's Bernie's Hamptons.
I'm guessing
beach
you can
house.
just get there with a boat from New York.
in
really easy?
Virginia?
I don't know
Well,
how things work.
no, I
My
mean it's in
geography's
New
real
York.
bad.
It's in New York?
Yeah, it's part of New
Oh.
York. It's like it's on Long Island. So in the movie, it's like it is like an actual island called like Hampton Island that they go to, but I don't think
is
that
it
actually
fictional?
exists. Yeah, like it's in the Hamptons, quote unquote, in the movie. But my understanding is that they shot this in like South Carolina or something. They shot it in like the Outer Banks or something, further south on the East Coast. So they just made up the town, but it's supposed to be the Hamptons.
And the hitman comes back to
Again.
finish the job. Everyone's back in the house. The girl's there.
Yep.
And
This is where she finally finds out he genuinely
he has to come
is
clean
dead.
with stuff.
Yep. And she's freaking out.
But the hitman like ends up shooting Bernie, so he gets the blame of.
Yeah, he busts right in, and he's had enough at this point. He is freaked out. He's sick of this Bernie guy. Just blasts him with witnesses all over.
Yep.
And so, yeah, then we have the chase through the house where he's basically trying to silence the witnesses, which had my favorite line of the movie, which is like, where they're like, "We're just Bernie's friends." And he's like, "I hate Bernie's friends." Like, it's so funny.
He was a good hitman.
He's really funny.
Yeah, it definitely comes more.
He was
man.
very rattled.
And
Wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so-
haven't died
There's definitely a funny gimmick there with like a hitman who's like told to kill a zombie, but he doesn't know the person's a zombie. That's like
Yeah,
a funny concept.
that is a good one.
It might work if The Walking Dead hadn't overplayed the whole zombie movement.
You could probably do it still.
He just had some hilarious
Yeah,
lines. He
it'll
also
take
had the
a
bit where
moment.
like he shoots all 6 shots from his revolver into the body, and like he goes to shoot them, and it clicks empty, and they're like, "Oh, he's out of bullets." He's like, "But not this one," and just opens to reveal a second gun, and then starts using that one. I guess
He's a good hitman.
It's really funny. It's all hilarious.
Agent McCarthy ends up tying him up with a phone cord.
Yeah.
Who even knows what a phone cord is now?
Yeah, right.
You see that in the movie.
I do. I still remember that.
You really? Wow. Can you
I still
explain?
remember
Can you explain
them.
it to us?
It'd have to be a USB cable now. It'd have to be.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
My Thunderbolt, go get that.
Yeah, iPhone charger. Get it.
Ends up tying him up right good, and then the police come and
Yeah.
everything gets like the blame
And
gets
everything
put
goes
on
to the hitman. The hitman is like confessing because he's been driven insane by the fact that zombie Bernie exists.
Yeah, he keeps.
He has genuinely lost his mind.
He wants to make sure that I killed Bernie.
And this again, another amazing gag right here when they're leading him out in a straitjacket because these cops are well equipped for island cops. Where when they called them earlier, they're
Island
like,
cops.
"Operator, police, please," and they're like, "You mean Ed? He's on the beach." Like,
Oh yeah,
they
that
have
was
one
one of my
cop.
favorite lines when he was like, "Would you like to leave him a message?" Yeah, help!
That was really good.
They hung
Really
up the
good.
phone.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, when they're walking out the hitman, he's just like, "He's not dead. He's still alive. Look." And he's like, Bernie's like on the gurney and the sheet falls down and he's like smirking like, Giving him a look like, I'm not dead. It's so funny. They managed to keep the dead body gag real funny the whole movie, and I don't know how.
It even ends with a great gag.
Yes!
With they're on a beach, like talking about their journey.
The three of them are in the beach in front of the house.
And the corner just like doesn't put Bernie in the ambulance for whatever reason.
So he rolls back down the boardwalk.
Then it's like a cute lady comes up and talks to him, and then he rolls on the boardwalk and like falls like perfectly right between them, making like the setting of 4 people.
So then another person on the beach is like, "Oh, hey, Bernie," and they're all like, and he's right there, and then they do the run away. It's so funny.
Perfect cut.
Yeah.
This was hilarious.
And that
a classic
dickhead little
movie.
kid comes and buries him
Yeah,
again.
that's right. That happened earlier. Some
Yeah.
little kid keeps burying the body.
This little kid was funny.
Yeah,
You don't see
a good
kids
bit.
swearing enough in movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
This kid says to kiss his ass.
Yeah.
To Larry and Richard.
It was open range in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. Kiss my ass. That 4-year-old kid told me to kiss his ass. He's so distraught.
I mean, that was basically their reaction. It's like, 4-year-old just took me down. Kiss my ass. They're like trying to grab him, beat him up. Oh my man.
Oh, what a movie.
This movie's hilarious.
Did
I
you
couldn't
watch the
believe
second
it.
one?
I watched it.
I didn't see it.
What'd you
I
think?
wanted to.
A lot of the bits that I said were in part 1 happened in the second one with the shark, with them trying to sign the will. Like there's like even more gimmicks of like what to do with a corpse.
So is the second one? I mean, obviously it doesn't share the same plot, like the characters, or whatever, except for the main guys. But like, does it? I assume it has to pick up like right after the first one.
Yep, right after the first one, they go back to the office. They get fired. Barry Bostwick is there as like an insurance agent, like looking into them. He's actually very funny in the film. But where the movie gets off track is where there's like a voodoo storyline. This would not play well today because it's just so stereotypical. But like there's a voodoo curse that they put on Bernie to find the missing $2 million. And they also like...
So that's why the music works?
So the music works because they screw up the ritual to bring him back. So it only works with the music.
Oh.
But Larry and Richard in the second one are trying to get into what's the safety deposit box that Bernie has, which also has the clues to what they're like. Everyone's looking for the same thing in a different way.
That made me upset in the first movie. I don't know if I'm just a bad person, but I was like, you guys should have taken that briefcase full of money. Because there is a briefcase full of money that the Hitman was going to use to frame those guys for killing Bernie. Where it was supposed to be the money that they discovered was stolen. Basically, they were...
couple grand or
going to
something?
confess that they stole it from the company, and then they killed Bernie because he found out or something. So yeah, and I was like, man, I should have just taken that.
That's why I like my idea.
Money's clean and free. Go.
Better with the will that never appeared in this movie. I thought that would have been more motivation.
Yeah,
but I guess
would
the
agree.
motivation sort of ends when they just figure out that Bernie was trying to kill them.
Right.
So,
I mean, yeah, it's like the motivation of
that's where
this
that
just
happens.
shifts from having a nice weekend in a house to keeping themselves alive with a body.
Yeah, we were being set
But
up.
that's,
Right.
yeah, you're right.
Right.
I think you are a little bit right on that. But you know, it's
Well, he's gone again.
still hilarious, though.
Hey! Ho, ho.
Did you read about Weekend at Bernie's 3?
No.
What?
Apparently it's a script that does exist. It gets read at like celebrity table reads all the time.
What?
So in the movie of Weekend at Bernie's 3, Jonathan Silverman and Andrew McCarthy come back as themselves
Oh, my gosh.
to make Weekend at Bernie's 3. And the actor who plays Bernie comes back to also help make the film, but he dies.
That's great.
It's like the new Nightmare.
Yeah.
It's like
So they have to make
Wes
Weekend at
Craven.
Bernie's 3 with a dead corpse of an actor.
That's
and like
so
keep the
good.
ruse up, yeah.
And they're just like, wow, he's such a method actor. You know, really into the role.
That's actually really, really
I
funny.
love that.
I think that's
so
a great
good.
idea.
Yeah.
Why haven't they made that?
I need to make this movie.
Oh,
They
Fund
should
it.
make
so
that.
funny.
Hollywood, fund it. You fund so much garbage, fund this garbage.
That's like that Wes Craven Freddy Krueger movie.
Netflix
where it's
has
like
no
they're
excuse.
going to make a movie
They throw
about
money
it.
at everything. Throw money at that one.
That
I would love
be
to see Weekend at
fun.
Bernie's 3.
That'd be a very fun.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah. It's the best idea for like a reboot sequel I've ever heard.
Yep. And like, I mean, there's clearly a good market for it. Bill and Ted was very successful.
I was just thinking
think
about
this is a
Bill
great,
and Ted.
This is a great opportunity to do a very similar project. Go
The
for
guy
it.
that plays
Yeah.
Bernie is not getting any younger.
Nope.
You gotta make that movie soon.
Ooh, you better make it real soon.
Guy's
I don't know
81
if
years
that-
old.
Yeah, good luck. You might have a stand-in.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of stunt doubles and body doubles and
Sure.
all sorts of stuff in this movie.
Sure.
But there was, I mean, he was
There's some
there a
good
lot
face
of the
acting
time.
though.
Man, there was times in
As
that
Dead Bernie.
in the bit where they're pulling the body behind the boat where I'm like, I hope they used a dummy, But half of me's like,
It was a stunt
I have
person.
a hunch that's a stunt man.
He broke his ribs.
Oh
during
my
during
God.
that stunt.
That's
During
what?
which stunt?
Being pulled by the boat into the buoys.
Yikes. Ow,
Just throw
why?
just throw a dummy in there.
Yeah, why wouldn't they use a dummy?
I don't know.
They're a bunch of dummies.
Yeah. That's insane.
I wouldn't have agreed to do that.
It's the 80s, baby.
Do you think it would be
Rock and
hard
roll.
or an easy day to be Bernie when you're dead on in a scene? Are you just having like the time of your life, just like not doing anything?
Yeah, you get to just lay there, but at the same time, you have to just lay there.
You do have to just be. As,
I would have
like,
just
still
been
as
so
possible.
into the role that I just would have been dead on the set.
They cut, you're just still laying there.
You,
like,
you
they're
Daniel
like,
Day-Lewis, we could have Bernie's.
shit. Yes, please.
He's so into it.
They're like, oh shit, he actually died. But we need to save our production.
Is he dead or should we?
Because he shows up to set, he just sits in the
He's
couch.
here
and
every
lays on a
day. He's
beach
the first
or,
one
you know.
awake, first one to go to bed.
Yeah. That was another bit too, where like there's scenes where they're moving him around, and I was like moving a person is not easy. They're heavy, and they did a pretty good job of it. So I'm like, I think they were genuinely moving him around. I think it was
looked
him,
like a
not
big
just
guy,
not
though.
like a body double.
I think they'd have to figure out the choreography of being able
But-
to run with him and do stuff with him.
And there's some bits where like his legs are kind of helping along or something.
Yeah.
You can see him kind of moving, but and like or
Yeah,
you know,
there's
the
scenes
scenes
where he's like dragging his feet.
the scene where he drops on the
clearly in
hitman and like
sand.
grabs him, or at the very end after he gets tied up, the hitman gets tied up in the phone cord and falls down on Bernie, and Bernie's arm goes like grabs him. He's like, Bernie, let me go, Bernie. Oh,
totally
man.
ignored that the body just like seizes and locks up when you when you die
No.
after
Yeah,
like
not
3
Bernie.
or 4 hours.
Bernie
You're
didn't
stiff.
even
Bernie.
You're
Bernie
so
didn't
stiff.
even do the death poop.
Was
you
it
know,
was it the heroin?
The heroin might
that
be
did
the
it?
key.
maybe.
Might have. Okay,
Oh, fun movie.
it was good. I was very happy with
Yeah,
it.
I was happier than I thought I was going to be.
Yep,
Yeah,
agreed.
yeah.
Thank you for joining us on that episode and every episode that you do. The next movie we're doing has the tagline, 6 students are about to find out their teachers really are from another planet. We remember the faculty.
No more pencils, no more books, no more teachers' dirty looks.
The students at Harrington High have always suspected their teachers were from another planet.
Is this gonna be on the test?
This is the test.
This time, they're right. Now, these 6 students won't just question authority. They'll have to destroy it. Critics are calling it hip and scary. A thrilling ride from beginning to end. The faculty.
Please report to the principal's office.